Before we start, to do this challenge I used a mod called Unlimited Companions Framework, which took me hours to find. I couldn't find it when I searched it up for some reason. Anyway, the rules of the challenge are, I'm only allowed to fight using male companions, and I have to be in a relationship with every male companion that I'm allowed to flirt with. However, I failed that part, but more on that later. For now, I chose my name, my special stats, and then I watched the entire world blow up around me. After watching the world blow up, I got to watch my wife die, which was kind of sad, but I was about to get a bunch of hot boyfriends out of it, so, you win some, you lose some, I guess. After watching her die, I got out of the cryo chamber and started to do my favorite activity, trapping rad roaches behind doors. I could just skip this, but honestly, trapping rad roaches is difficult, so I always just make that a part of every challenge. Speaking of every challenge, I decided to play on very hard from now on. That's because after resting to get back some HP, I then decided it was time to go to Good Neighbor. Watched some guy try to harass me, talked him down, had Hancock kill him, and I fell in love. It was truly love and murder at first sight. As then I recruited Hancock because the mod lets you easily recruit people instantly, which I would regret doing this, but that would come back later. As then I recruited McCready and got another sweet boyfriend, crafted some water to heal me and my boys. Probably didn't need it in this run, but better safe than sorry. I then hid behind a railing where I watched Paladin Dance do most of the work. As then I agreed to help him out. But really I just wanted him to be my boyfriend because come on, look at him. Big, handsome, strong, what more could you want? Dance was so intrigued by my beauty, he didn't even fight the synths. He just stood there with me. So, I just turned on the machine and watched the synths walk around without fighting Paladin Dance. It was kind of weird. Obviously it glitched out because Dance wasn't supposed to be my companion, but hey, I'm not going to complain. As then me and Dance spoke, I agreed to join the Brotherhood, and I upgraded my Vault suit. Nice. As then it was time to get my next boyfriend, Preston Garvey. But to do that, we had to clear out the Museum of Freedom. Watching my companions clear out the raiders was pretty easy, so then I talked to Garvey, and he agreed to join my group of boyfriends. As then I gave power armor to McCready because, well, why not? After that, I then leaped down and watched my army of boyfriends fight a Deathclaw, which was quite entertaining, honestly. And I've never seen the Deathclaw go down this fast. It makes sense since the Deathclaw is being shot from a bunch of different directions by people that are way higher than its level because the Deathclaw is supposed to be early in the game. So yeah, that all checks out. As then I got a good look of my sweet Preston walking away slowly. After that, it was time for me to save Strong. Now, I can't really romance Strong, so you might be asking, why am I siding with characters that I can't romance? Well, originally I was just going to do characters I can romance, but I decided to get all male companions, because I've always wished I could romance all of them. And I could install more mods, but it took me like 5 hours to find this mod, because it didn't show up whenever I searched, so I just decided not to do that. I also died a lot, because I was stupid and my companions kept blocking me. But eventually, they're able to make it all the way to Fist, and I could make an immature joke about that, but I'm not going to do it. Just a bunch of gay men fighting some Fist. After taking care of Fist, it was then time for me to finally make my way to Strong and let him go. I was lost in his eyes, looking at the beautiful man that is Strong, as then he joined my company. As then it was time for me to get Deacon. He was easy, all I had to do was go to the railroad and then straight up recruit him. After that, I managed to flirt with Hancock, which is nice. By the way, I'll show whenever I can flirt with my companions, because, well, the whole point of the challenge is to have as many boyfriends as possible. So I agreed to help Nick Valentine, so I can recruit him and get him to help me with the main quest. As my companions easily tore through the Triggermen, obviously, because, well, I have a super mutant and a guy with power armor versus people in trench coats. And I managed to get Dance to like me a bit more, which is nice, and even flirt a bit with him. As then, we continued onward, slaughtering the Triggermen like they were nothing. After going through some Triggermen, eventually we made it to Nick Valentine. By the way, if you ever install this mod, make sure to only recruit Nick after you get him out of the vault, and he helps you go to Kellogg's house, because otherwise he'll get soft locked and you won't be able to continue the quest or complete the game. As we easily continued our way through more triggermen, Strong began to like me more, which is nice, and then we dealt with Darla and her gang by convincing Darla to kill her boyfriend. You know, just some typical couple stuff, nothing I can't handle. After that, I agreed to become the Silver Shroud. I originally thought about completing the quest, but I just wanted better armor, so I decided just to go in and grab it and have him fix it up for me, which was very nice. And it makes it so humans do 5% less damage. After getting some actual decent armor, I was ready to fight Kellogg, and by me, I mean my companions. As I talked to Nick, used my charisma to flirt with the mayor to get what I wanted, as then I went to Kellogg's house and used a dog to find him, as eventually made it to Fort Hagen. And if you thought the synths were going to be a challenge, what's wrong with you? I have a literal super mutant on my side. Kellogg tried to do the invisibility trick, but yeah, since my companions are AI and can easily see through that, it didn't really work out too well. All I did was hide behind some cover, which worked out for a bit, so I had to walk up towards him so my companions get closer. Eventually, they were able to surround and take him out. After they dealt with Kellogg, I finally got the brain matter I needed, talked with Hancock a bit more, then I left to help out some people. You see, I wanted to get the Minutemen ended. My plan was to side with the Brotherhood until I can flirt with Dance. So, to get the Minutemen ending, I would have to complete some quests, so that's exactly what I did, as I went to complete some Minutemen quests. Also, every time you complete a quest for the Minutemen, Preston Garvey loves it, so if you want to flirt with Garvey, which come on, who wouldn't, just go around completing Minutemen quests with him as a companion. I was also able to use my charm to help this kid at the forge not kill a guy, so that's nice, as then we took on the leader. And yeah, Slang didn't stand a single chance against us. We easily pulverized them. I also cleared out some settlements, started some new settlements, and cleared out some raiders. Yada yada yada, Minutemen this, Minutemen that. You know how it goes. As then it was finally time for us to retake the castle. I was a bit worried, but I had a strategy in mind in case all my companions went down. We'll talk about that later. As my companions easily slaughtered through the Mirelurk, it was time to deal with the Mirelurk Queen. I tried to go up on top of the castle so my companions would too, hoping that the Mirelurk Queen wouldn't focus on them, but sadly I didn't really work out well. And yeah, the Mirelurk Queen easily tore apart my companions like they were Swiss butter. However, there was a way around this, because I saw the Mirelurk Queen was still taking a lot of damage while doing this, so I left. You see, if you leave the castle, then come back, all your companions will be healed. So anytime my companions started to die, I would simply do this a lot, as eventually we were able to take down the Mirelurk Queen. I also got a pretty good shot of it dying, which is nice. After taking down the Mirelurk Queen, I was then able to improve relations with Strong, which is pretty nice, not gonna lie. As then me and Strong began to talk about how much we love each other. After that, I went to the memory den, and I learned that the Institute was using teleportation. And there was this guy named Virgil who I needed to see. But before that, I managed to increase my relationship with McCready. And considering that you have to complete all of his quests to actually flirt with him, I wanted to complete McCready's quest. As we went on the bridge and dealt with the gunners he used to work for. They put up quite a bit of a fight, way more fight than the Triggermen, but there was still no match for my super mutant boyfriend and my power armor boyfriend, as they easily tore them apart. I even got Dance to fight people with his fists. For some reason, he just lost his gun and stopped using it through the fight. The next fight, he had it back. I've never seen him punch someone before, so I was just amazed. If you've seen that, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, me and McCready were now all set, as I helped him get rid of his old bosses. As then it was time to go back to the castle and help old Ronnie Shaw get the artillery working again. As then my companions fought Sarge. I wanted to say that Sarge put up a good fight, but Sarge would only focus on one companion at a time. And when you have 4 people shooting at you at once, that's not really a winning strategy, as they easily tore apart Sarge one by one, piece by piece. As then I threw down some smoke grenades and got to watch the show, as it rained fire from above, as now the Minutemen were far stronger. As then I got to flirt with Hancock for the last time, as me and Hancock were finally doing it. We were finally boyfriends. That's right, me and the sexy ghoul together forever. Alright, giggity 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 goo. As then I talked to Dance as I improved relations with him. As me and Dance were getting along just fine, probably jealous of Hancock, it was time to continue on our main quest, which of course was flirting with more companions, as I managed to be able to flirt with Preston Garvey also, who quite liked me. Maybe it's my charm and good looks. As then I was able to flirt with McCready again, as then he started to like me more. As then I listened to this boring lecture from Elder Maxon, talking about how supermutants were bad, yada yada yada. As then it was time to clear out Fort Strong. As the supermutant behemoth actually did give me quite a bit of trouble, so what I did was I walked into the fort and had my companions fight all the supermutants because they would chase me in there. So then the behemoth would have to fight all my companions one by one. And eventually, through coming back over and over, they're able to wipe him out. Believe it or not, Preston Garvey, the guy believed to have the worst aim in the entire game, was the guy who got the last shot. After that, we went back to Fort Strong as we cleared out what was left of the super mutants. By the way, why is Strong named after the fort? I don't think that's ever brought up. It's probably a coincidence, but still. Anyway, I then bought a bunch of Radaway and some Rad-X. I did take the radiation resistance perk part 2, so I'm 20% resistant, but I still wanted to be careful. As I made it to Virgil, I then talked to him. He was confused how I had so many boyfriends, so he sent me away to the Institute. But before that, I didn't talk to Paladin Dance, as me and him were getting along even more, as I got to flirt with him. As then, it was time to kill the Courser. Now, I could have my companions make my way through, but I decided instead of that, I would just chug a bunch of water and just run through the gunners, as I didn't feel like waiting for my companions to take them out one by one. Besides, as soon as I get to the elevator, they will teleport next to me. As I made it to the Courser, for some reason, only Strong was there, and I don't really know why. But Strong was easily able to handle him after a while, and even Paladin Dance showed up. I don't know where my other companions were, but hey, I guess it really doesn't matter. As then I took it to Tinker Tom, and Tinker Tom decoded the chip. After having him decode the chip, I then went over to do some more Minutemen quests to flirt with Preston Garvey, as Preston Garvey was becoming quite fond of me, as me and him officially became boyfriends. That's 2 more to go. As then I talked to McCready some more, and he had another quest for me, the quest to save his son. As me and McCready and the rest of the companions went in, it was time for me to get the cure. You see, this quest is just fight through some robots and some ghouls until you find the cure for Duncan, McCready's son. So yeah, not really that hard at all. As I found the cure, I then went over and gave it away so McCready's son can be cured once and for all. As then I got to meet a nice fine lady, but I told her I wasn't interested because I'm only into men this run. As then I built a teleporter with the Brotherhood. Doesn't really matter who I build it with, but the Brotherhood was already ready, so I figured why not choose them. I then talked to my son, who was an old man now, as I went to Dr. Lee, as I recruited her for the Brotherhood. Like I said, I didn't want to side with the Brotherhood, but I was going to have to go along with their quest until I can get Paladin Dance. As then, I took a break for me and my boyfriends to, enjoy ourselves. After that, I then began to get materials for the magnets for Liberty Prime. After getting the materials and making my way through Super Mutants, I did skip past it because, not much happened. I then placed down the magnets. I ran past some ghouls because now I was in the glowing sea. I passed that because, like I said before, not much really happened here. So I was able to make my way all the way to this crazy cultist, and I used flattery to flirt with him so he let me in. As then I located the nukes for Liberty Prime. After that, I talked to Elder Maxon, and he ordered me to kill my boyfriend, and I told him F no, and I went to Paladin Dance and convinced him that life was worth living, as I could officially flirt with him and get him to be my boyfriend once and for all. At least that's what was supposed to happen, but I'll explain that in just a second. As I used my charm to talk Elder Maxon out of killing him, I realized something. Paladin Dance should be Max's relationship with me, but I can't get him to be my boyfriend. And I even tried doing the power armor trick just in case I was wrong, but no matter how much I did that, it didn't really work. It must be because of the mod. I think the mod made it he was my companion even when he wasn't supposed to. So the whole thing where you can talk to him about dating him never happens. So I couldn't get Paladin Dance as a boyfriend, technically kind of failing the challenge. I then tried to get McCree to get max relations by stealing and finessing people, but no matter how much I did that, it could never happen. So I just gave up trying to romance them and decided it was time to take down the Institute, as I couldn't kill, but I would allow myself to punch, so I punched the synth until it got mad. But even though the Institute was mad at me, I couldn't get the Minutemen to destroy them. I talked to Preston Garvey, and the quest just never triggered. Oh well, I forgot to record this, but Deacon, he was locked out of the quest. I needed Deacon for the railroad, but since he was my companion, he wouldn't help me. So the only option was the Brotherhood. Sadly, I had to side with them. I didn't want to side with them because I sided with them last Fallout 4 video, but I literally had no choice. But next time, I don't know who I'll side with, but it definitely will not be the Brotherhood. As me and my companions made it through to get the nuclear reactor, all I could do was just stand there and have them shoot at me through an elevator, as then I went to the bottom and grabbed the reactor. Not really that hard. Not really much happened here, so I'm just going to skip through most of it until the action started. The Assaultrons weren't really much of a fight. My companions were kind of overpowered at this point, so I'll just skip past that, as then I got to turn on Liberty Prime. After watching Liberty Prime turn on, it was time to assault the Institute, as me and my boyfriends assembled, like the Avengers. Also, for some reason, an Enclave soldier attacked me. I did not deal with the Enclave all game, so I don't know why this happened, but maybe they were trying to stop their Brotherhood like old times. I have no idea. Anyway, we made it through the Institute, and it was time for us to battle some more synths. I mean, we've done this a million times by now, so not really much has changed. And the Brotherhood ending is literally the easiest ending once you get to the Institute, so having multiple partners helping me made it a piece of cake. As I got to the computer, opened the reactor room, ran to the reactor, turned it on, ran past all of the synths that were trying to kill me. As I ran for dear life, for some reason Elder Maxon was taking his sweet time to teleport me out. I honestly thought the game was glitched, but luckily it wasn't. I talked to Sean, decided to adopt him, as 8 boyfriends and 1 kid sounded like a sweet sitcom. Also, I didn't know this was a thing, but my companions got teleported out one by one before me. I thought that was kind of neat. After that, I watched the Institute blow up, proving that you kinda can beat Fallout 4 by being gay, and kinda can't because it gets locked out. But whatever. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know I did. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what challenges you want for the next video. And peace out. Love you all. Welcome to Can You Beat Fallout 4 as a femboy. For this challenge, I'm only allowed to wear a skirt and dresses, and to make this as difficult as possible, I'm going to do unarmed only, on survival difficulty. With that being said, let's start this challenge. I do the usual glitch of just spamming shelves to level up easily, because I'm on survival and I don't care about doing cheap things when I die every 10 seconds. And I start a quest. There's this quest where you can find a Deathclaw and steal its egg. Then you can sell it or give it back to its mother for a Deathclaw Gauntlet. And a Deathclaw Gauntlet is the second best unarmed weapon in the entire game. So I've decided I'm going to steal the egg and give it back to its mother. As the mama Deathclaw looks at me, I expect a reward, but since this isn't the hub, sadly I have to settle for the Deathclaw Gauntlet. Oh well. Then I end up dying from mosquitoes and have to do that all over again. I die from these guys a lot because they're too fast to avoid because they fly and they poison you when they suck your blood. Eventually though, I'm able to try out the gauntlet on some flies and die. Yeah. For some easy XP, I decided to help out Paladin Dance when the ghouls attack him and agreed to go to the facility. Right now I have to use the Blitz perk and simply hide and hope I don't die, because right now I'm in the nude. So I simply watch Paladin Dan and my underwear get destroyed by a bunch of synths and activate a nuclear reactor that melts his insides. But he survives because he's wearing power armor, or because he's a synth. I never figure out which one. Anyway, after that I agree to join the Brotherhood, but I won't actually do that. I go to Diamond City and I actually buy a skirt. I was hoping for a dress because a dress works with the ballistic weave. Doesn't, but we'll have to settle for now. I was able to pull off a triple kill with my blitz and sneak abilities, which was pretty sick. Honestly, an unarmed build is extremely fun in survival. Hard, but fun. I then go out to kill some raiders in Concord to try to save Preston. I sneak around and just simply slice their heads off. Yeah, when I get monetized, this video is probably gonna get demonetized, honestly. But look at that, that's beautiful. I then talked to Preston, and I agreed to help deal with the raiders. And by didn't use power armor, so instead I had to hide in buildings and let the Deathclaw do most of the work for me. I was hoping that Preston and the raiders can whittle down the Deathclaw's health, so then I can get the very last strike. And it almost works, but I was a little bit off, so yeah, I was punished for that. I do try it again as I fight the raiders because they like going into my buildings and lighting me on fire, which is not very nice. As I wait for them to come to me, I end up striking them down.
I've never seen this before, but I kill the raiders the second time, and guess what? The raiders killed the Deathclaw. I've never seen that happen. I eventually am able to find my dress, though, as I go to meet the railroad, because I need a ballistic weave so it feels like my bones aren't made from literal glass. As then I meet up with Deacon as he vouches for me, and I am let into the railroad after some deep conversation. As then Deacon takes me on to a mission to recover some stuff they lost from their old base. As now I go in to start to tear the synths apart, as I'm forced to use the Ninja perk and the Blitz perk, which are basically my two favorite perks for this entire run. And I rely on Deacon to do a lot of damage, because sometimes I just can't sneak up on them because my sneak isn't high enough. And I die here and there because, well, believe it or not, fighting a bunch of people with higher powered lasers wearing nothing but a dress is not a good idea. As I use hit and run tactics, I destroy a few of them and run away. And I do this very often, and I use Deacon as a meat shield anytime I can.
The power of using your buddy as a human shield and hit and run tactics, I am eventually able to clear out the synths and even given a weapon that I cannot use. As we get the MacGuffin, I then go back and talk to Desdemona as I am let into the railroad. Now I have to do a few more quests for them so I can get the ballistic weave, as one of those quests is helping escape synth. So we have to help them get to a designated area. To do that, though, I have to clear out the raiders and the abandoned church. It isn't too hard. Luckily, I don't take damage in VATS for some reason, so that helps. I meet up with the synth, and then we begin to clear out another area so they can do a path. Because, of course, I am able to lead them to the correct safe house, and I save the day. After that, I do some more quests, like clearing out some raiders, so the railroad can set up a base, because they need a place to hide escape synths. And yeah, it's a little difficult, but with my blitz and sneak ability being high up, I'm able to clear them out. After that, I have to sneak back in a dangerous territory. I even fight some supermutants along the way. Take down a legendary with a sneak attack, and I'm finally able to get the ballistic weave and upgrade my skirt. So now I go to try to fight Swan so I can get the better unarmed weapon, the Power Fist. But yeah, it's not easy. Believe it or not, but trying to fight a giant behemoth with your fist is something hard to do. Shocking, I know. Eventually I just give up and decide to help save Nick. I do have a little bit trouble because fighting people with submachine guns, even with a skirt with ballistic weave in it, it's still a skirt, so it's kind of difficult. And to be honest, this is difficult no matter what you do, especially in survival. But I'm able to get some sneak attacks in there and kill them one by one. I do almost die, but I am saved by a level up, which is very nice. I then get the next ninja perk, which will help me out severely, making it so my attacks do way more damage when they're a sneak attack, now doing 4 times the damage instead of twice the amount of damage. So that's very nice, as then I'm easily able to destroy them. Luckily, the triggermen are all glass cannons. They do a lot of damage, but they don't have barely any in defense, so I'm able to simply just chop them down. As then I meet up with Nick as we talk, and he agrees to help me save my son, but I'm gonna have to kill all these gunners. By the way, the main quest of the game is to try to find your son, if you did not know. I then managed to go out and kill the triggermen. I've been calling them gunners the whole time, oh well. And they kill me a lot. I mean a lot. Because I suck at this game apparently. I try to do sneak attacks and do anything, even just direct attacks, but Skinny Malone just tears me a new one over and over and over again. Eventually though, I do get a clean hit on him, but I die anyway. Eventually I just run away and try to let Nick do most of the work, as Nick wears them down, and then I try to slice them apart. Skinny Malone definitely puts up one hell of a fight, and for some reason, even though he is just wearing a tuxedo, he has the best armor in the game, apparently. I eventually get a pretty clean blitz and sneak attack, as then I hide and let Nick do the work like I did before. As I eventually keep doing this, until Skinny Malone dies. And even then, he almost kills me. I don't know why, but on survival, Skinny Malone is like a god, apparently. I then talk to Nick, and Nick leaves, as then I'm able to upgrade my weapon, so I can kill Swan. I want that power fight Kellogg, but it's not easy. But I have a plan. Eventually, I just give up and decide to do things dirty. I decide to cheat, just like the Russians did in the Olympics, by downing a bunch of Psycho and Jet, and then taking down Swan. I use a sneak attack, Psycho, and many other things, all in one hit, to beat him, but I almost die from an overdose. Eventually, though, I do get the Power Fist, and I'm able to start the quest, as then I bribe the secretary for her to give me the key to Kellogg's house. As now I have the key, I then investigate Kellogg's house, and then go over to Fort Hagen, where a super mutant bomber almost kills me. Then I had to kill some synth, and honestly, this is the easiest time I've ever done this in survival. Unarmed is extremely hard when you start, but once you master the sneak, blitz, and ninja perk, it becomes a little bit easier. It's definitely no cakewalk, and I still die a bunch, but it makes things a lot better. I also hit people through walls sometimes, so that's good. It's a glitch, by the way. You can't do that normally. This game has lots of bugs. I always love it when a bug actually goes in your favor. Eventually, I'm able to make it to Kellogg, as I simply use Vats and Jet and simply pump his face full of iron until his head blows off. I do take a lot of damage from the synths, so I am forced to run away and fight them. But after killing Kellogg and deal with all that, I then go into Nick's brain and discover that the Institute is using teleportation. So I then glow into the glowing sea because there's an escape Institute scientist living there. And the glowing sea is basically hell on Earth with the mostly radiated creatures and destruction over there. I meet Virgil and he tells me I need a Courser chip to teleport to the Institute, but to do that I need to destroy Courser. So I track down the Courser who's having a scuffer with some gunners, and I need to destroy the gunners to get to the Courser. And doing so isn't really that hard at first, but there's one big challenge here, and that's the guy with the rocket, who always kills me no matter what run I am in. It takes me forever to get past this guy. Eventually I'm able to kill him though, and then I kill the rest of the gunners with no problems. Luckily, this place is perfect for my fighting style, because it's small, closed in, and I can get up to people close. And I'd simply just use Vats and pound down the Courser until he's dead. With the Courser chip, I then talk to the railroad, and they agree to decode the Courser chip. With the Courser chip decoded, it's time for me to go. But before I do, I realize for some reason there's a Brotherhood soldier in the Underground Railroad. That's not supposed to be there, so I kill her. Then I meet up back with Virgil. He gives me the plans, as then I start to build the teleporter. As then I finish the teleporter, I go inside the Institute. The Great Institute. Everyone hates this faction, but I honestly really like the Institute, and I'll explain why later. I then had to talk to my son, and I find free water. And that's the whole reason I like the Institute, because they give you free water. Anyway, I then decide to tear down the Institute by doing some undercover work. I upgrade my weapon, and now I have to go and get a password, because we want to free a bunch of synths. But to do that, we need a password. So I then end up going to get the password, going back to the Underground Railroad, and eventually I find what I need, and I talk to Desdemona. I then go back to the undercover work, and we agree to stage an armed rebellion against the Institute. But before that, we have to keep working with the Institute, so they don't expect anything. So we then go out to capture a synth and bring it back. Kind of the whole opposite purpose of the railroad, but whatever, you win some, you lose some, I guess. As this is actually the easiest time I've done this, because Sneak with Blitz is extremely overpowered and a great counter to explosives. But eventually I do make it to the top, and I do the reclamation process and turn Gabriel off because he is actually a machine. Then I kill the raiders, and bada boom bada bing, the synth is back to the Institute. I then meet my son, who's older than me, Fallout is Fallout, and he tells me about the attack on Bunker Hill. So then I warn the railroad, and I decide just to get through it.
If you simply just kill the courser right away, you can skip through the whole quest, so that's what I do. I try to sneak up on it, but for some reason it doesn't work, maybe because it's not hostile, but I simply just use VATS to destroy the courser. After that, I meet up with Father. He's disappointed in me, but since I can't fail that unless I tell him I did it, he lets me off the hook. As then, I go down and decide to take out some synths, because I need to take out synth guards so the rebel synths can stage an uprising. So that's exactly what I do, as I go around taking them out one by one, destroying them. The synth guards do put up somewhat of a fight, and by somewhat of a fight, I mean they destroy me a lot. But eventually I use this old tactic. It's called trying to run away once you hit a synth so you don't die. Basically just using hit and run tactics and using VATS as much as possible. It works out pretty well. I do get stuck and die a few times, but eventually I am able to clear out all the guards once and for all and save the day. This was a pain in the butt. I don't know why, but I honestly died more times here than with the gunners because of just how frustrating it was. They would block all your punches all the time. Anyway, eventually though, I then go to mass fusion to get a nuclear reactor to power the Institute, which makes me an enemy of the Brotherhood. So from here on out, the Brotherhood is my enemy, as now I have to fight through Brotherhood soldiers. The Brotherhood does put up one hell of a fight, because even with my power fist, power armor is still very strong. But eventually though, I am able to make my way down by clearing a path of blood. They do catch me a few times, and I do almost die a lot, and do die, but overall, it's not as challenging as I thought it would be. As I make it to the nuclear reactor, I then use some Rad-X, which is prescribed to me by a doctor. Yep, definitely prescribed medicine. To go in and get the nuclear reactor and not die from radiation. After this, the robots blow up if you punch them too much. So I simply have to wait until the Assaultrons come out, which are robots I actually can punch to death. And they do put up on a fight, and they almost kill me, because if that laser comes out of its head, I'm basically dead. And each time I fight, it gets closer and closer and closer until I'm basically dead. But luckily with VATS and some well-timed punches, I am just barely able to destroy it before it lasered me to death. As then I'm able to fight my way out, and I go back to the Institute to learn that some people are rising up against me on the House Divided quest, where basically some Institute scientists shut down the food production center with some robots to starve us out. So I have to go through and fight some synths and then talk them out of it. The synths do put up one hell of a fight, but I am able to destroy them eventually. As then I make it in, and they are not convinced by words, so I have to go in and destroy the synth guards. Luckily, I'm able to get some sneak attacks, which destroys them pretty easily. After that, I then put them on probation, then I deal with some gunners. The gunners destroy me the first time, but the second time, I actually use stealth, which is the whole point of the build, which I should have used the first time, and I actually get out some great kills, as I'm able to destroy the gunners. Sometimes VATS glitch and it like ruins the stealth, but other times it goes well. As then I'm able to talk this scientist into joining the Institute. Now, from what you could see, you can probably guess I'm either doing the Railroad and Institute ending. And by the way, I'm going to do the Railroad ending because I barely ever do them, and we all hate them, but sometimes you got to swallow the pill and free some synths. I then put the nuclear reactor in as everyone cheers, powering the Institute once and for all. Hip hip hooray, the Institute has unlimited power. Then I am made the director, and I talk about destroying the Brotherhood. But before that can happen, I then get a news report that the Brotherhood are on its way to destroy the Railroad. So we have to defend the Railroad against the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood launched an attack, but I'm able to quickly die, and I die a lot. It's kind of hard to sneak up on these guys when you have such little room, and one of their guys is a heavy with a laser machine gun, which does a lot of damage, believe it or not. That laser machine gun is absolutely destroying me over and over again. Eventually, though, I get lucky, and he does die, and then I'm able to destroy the rest of the guards, wiping out the Brotherhood and clearing out the first match, because the Brotherhood are all across the old abandoned church. As then I talk to Glory, who dies, and she doesn't have a synth component, so basically she's a liar. Plot twist of the century. And then I deal with the Brotherhood upstairs by using stealth attack and blitz attacks. And when that doesn't work, I simply try to punch them and hope they don't shoot me. I know it's very simple and barbaric, but these are really the only strategies that I have. And by using stealth, blitz, luck, and running away, and also learning from my mistakes each time I die, which is a lot, eventually I am able to clear out the church by leading them towards me and taking them on one by one. Nice, very nice. This battle was hell on earth, and it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but eventually I managed to clear them out. But now we gotta deal with the Brotherhood, so our plan is to sneak into the police station. By sneak, I mean murdering everyone, taking a vertibird, going to the Brotherhood airship, and blowing it up. But to do that, we're gonna have to clear out the police station, which is even harder than the church. Hooray! This is so much fun. So, I tried to sneak around and do as many stealth attacks as possible, but VATS would glitch out sometimes, or there'd be more people there than I thought, and it would simply complicate things a lot. All I could really do was hit people, hope that I don't die, and then run away. I even glitched a guy's face into a wall. Eventually though, by my stealth attacks and by blitz, which I say a lot, I know, I was able to clear things out. It definitely wasn't easy though, and I had a lot of close calls along the way. I even had to use jet just to survive, and it didn't work. So I tried again, and I managed clearing them out. As now we have to get onto the helicopter, but there's an enemy helicopter attacking us, or vertibird I guess. But I was able to simply just hide back and let Deacon deal with it. As Deacon dealt with the vertibird, I then get on, as I can't use the machine gun. I simply use a stealth boy to try to sneak on the Pridwin. As I sneak on, put all the bombs on, then die because Tinker Tom is a shit driver, so then I have to do that all over again. This time I use a stealth boy before I get on the vertibird, which helps a bit. Sadly, you can't really crouch, so my stealth is not that good on the vertibird. By the way, eventually I do end up blowing up the Brotherhood and getting stealth maxed out, as then it's finally time for me to destroy the Institute. As I go into the Institute and destroy all the synth guards and scientists guarding the teleportation area, and then we teleport everyone in, as it's time for a mass assault. As Desdemona and her forces are teleported in, it's time we attack the Institute. And by attack, I mostly stay back and let them do most of the work, because there's not a bed here for a while. I don't feel like doing all this over again, so I just simply hide back and let them do it. I do help out every once in a while, of course, but for the most part, it's mostly them doing the work. Desdemona then talks to me about the Institute, and then I say, "Shut up, Desdemona," as she gives me explosives. As then, I battle through some synths, and even get to punch a gorilla to death. That's kind of nice. Well, I guess not, because it's a endangered species, but it's a robot, so I guess that makes it okay? Or does that make it even more endangered? I honestly don't know. Anyway, I simply hide back and let the railroad clear out the Institute. As then, I go out and kill my son, and then go into the Institute terminal, open all the doors, shut down some synths, and don't put the evacuation relay because, well, I want everyone to die and suffer just how I suffered. As then I put the bomb on the reactor and leave. And I die. As then, I have to go back and plant the bombs again. As I plant the bombs in the reactor, I then start to run out, as I am eventually able to get away. After getting away, I am confronted by my robot son that father built for me, so then I immediately take him along with me because I'm doing the railroad, so it only really makes sense. After taking him, I then talk to Tinker Tom. I leave the Institute, blow it up, and prove yes you can beat Fallout 4 as a femboy. Sorry it took me so long to upload this. My computer pooped itself, and then I had family over, and just a bunch of stuff was happening. Happy Pride Month. Hope you had a great day. I love you all so much. All of you mean the world to me. Peace out. You're the best.
Time to find out, can you beat Fallout New Vegas as a lesbian? For this challenge, I'm only allowed to be a woman and use women companions to fight my battles for me. With all that being said, let's get this challenge started. Made sure that everything was in order, as then I picked everyone's favorite lesbian, Ellen, as then I tried the best that I could to make myself look like her, but Fallout New Vegas is very limited when it comes to character design because it is a very old game, so this is the best you're gonna get. After making Ellen, I then went to the character creation, and I focused on endurance, intelligence, and luck because, well, all the other skills will be completely useless. Luck was kind of useless too. Originally I wanted to go to a casino, but I never really did that. After that I picked barter, speech, medicine, as in I went good-natured and wild wasteland. As in I set the difficulty to very hard. I wanted to be on hardcore mode, but if a companion died, it would die for real, and if I wasn't careful enough, I would fail the challenge. And I don't feel like taking care of them like I'm their mother, so I decided not to do that. As in I made the shortcuts through Scorpion's Reach, through the Hidden Valley Bunker. If you want to just make it to New Vegas, this is the fastest and safest way without dealing with Deathclaws. Just make it past some Scorpions. After that, I went to Veronica, as it was time to start the challenge. Now, for this to work, I'm going to have to do the Infinite Companions glitch, and to do that, you have to bring her to 3 different locations to get all of her dialogue. Now, there's a lot of different locations you go to, but this is what I do. First, I make sure to head to Camp McCarran, so then she says something about the NCR being a threat to the Brotherhood. After that, we got jumped along the way. Then, I brought her to Cottonwood Cove to talk about Caesar's Legion. To be honest, I wasn't really paying too much attention to the dialogue, but now that we got 2 dialogues, all we need is the 3rd one. So, then I went to Vault 3. She kind of glitched out here for a while. She needed to kill all the fiends to say what she needed to say. So after waiting for her to kill all the fiends, and then sitting around for her not saying anything, eventually she would say her dialogue. Now I'm got to tell you what to do. After she finally says her dialogue, what you do is, you talk to her, and she has something to tell you. But you make sure to say not now, and send her away. After sending her away, you're supposed to talk to her. You see, she's supposed to have you bring her to the Brotherhood of Steel. But if you don't go there and bring her along anyway, you can get a companion. Now, I sent her away, got Lily as a companion, then I talked to her and told her to go to the Brotherhood herself, and then I picked her up. And this tricks the game into thinking she's not with you, allowing you to get 2 companions. And every time you want a new companion, you have to send her away, tell her you'll help, then say never mind, piss off, and then recruit her anyway, and you get 2 companions. Big bomb, boom, bada boom. Understand? Good. Then I went to the Gunrunners to buy me some armor. After that, I decided to help Lily with her quest. You see, I want to complete every companion's quest line. Why? Well, it will make the video longer, give me more content, and I rarely do them in challenge runs. So, really, it's a win-win-win. And I found an Oh Baby Super Sleds to give to Lily. After that, the Nightkin weren't happy that we were keeping the stealth boys for ourselves, so I had my companions deal with them. And deal with them they did. As I ran around as the Nightkins tried to punch me to death, eventually Veronica managed to punch them to death. Apparently, Metal Fist beat Giant Mutated Fist. Lesson learned. After that, we went and meet Cassidy. Cassidy is probably one of the hardest companions to get, because you have to complete a long quest. It's not like hard isn't difficult, but hard isn't, it takes a while. As we would have to go back and forth to get her. Now, I thought I could convince her to sell her caravan, but I didn't have enough speech, so I had to do some quests. So I decided to go out and do some main quest to pass the time and get me some XP. So I went to Good Springs and had my companions deal with the Powder Gangers, which they did pretty well, of course. Then I went back to Cassidy and I finally had enough speech to convince her to sell the caravan and to join up with me. As then I decided it was time to do Cassidy's quest, because I have a special idea how to do it. As I got Cassidy as a companion, we went to these caravan trails and began to track them down. You see, someone has been killing all these caravans, and I know who it is, and you probably know who it is, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to tell you who. As we did some more poking around and investigating, eventually we would find out it was the Van Graffs and the Crimson Caravan. So I decided to work for the Van Graffs and let in a suicide bomber to blow everyone up, because I've never really done that before. After watching the explosion, I then went in and saw all the fire and chaos, and I was able to loot the Van Graffs for all the information they had, effectively killing them off. I've never killed them like this, and I think that's a fun way to do it. And if any of you want to do the quest where you kill them, I recommend you try it. As in, I stole something in front of the Crimson Caravan, causing them to turn hostile, and letting my companions deal with them. Now that Cassidy's quest is taken care of, I decided to do more main story quest. I will get to Veronica's quest, but I wanted higher medicine before I attempted that, so it was time for me to do the main mission. as I let my group in to bring law back to Prim and get rid of the powder gangers there, as we needed a new sheriff, so I called on the NCR to help take over the town and watch over it. Hopefully they bring some girls with them, because California girls are unforgettable. After that, I went to Novak and began to learn about these ghouls causing problems, as I met with Jason Bright, the leader of the Bright followers, and then I went down to the basement to kill the Nightkin. Now, usually what I do is I do their quests, but instead of that, I decided to let my companions murder them because, well, why not? Gotta try something new every day, isn't that right? After letting my companions murder all the Nightkin down, I then went back up and told them that the demons were dead, as then it was time to get the rocket going so they can be launched into space. Don't see anything wrong or weird about that. Getting the spaceship parts weren't too hard. First, I had a desecrated dead body, and second, I had to convince an old woman to sell me the brain. Usually I just kill her and take it that way, but I was being nice today. After dealing with that, I then watched the Bright followers launch off into space as I decided to finally continue on Veronica's mission. As I went to meet with the Brotherhood, they were skeptical about me being an outsider, but I had Veronica, they cut me some slack, and I talked to Elder, not even gonna try to pronounce his name, as then he sent me off to try to receive some lost tapes from the Brotherhood soldiers that are dead. Well, he didn't know they were dead, but spoiler alert, they're all dead. Luckily, I got some Brotherhood armor for that, though. I then had to talk to the Boomers. Now, I wasn't gonna do their quest yet, but there was a dead Brotherhood soldier near their base, so I decided to go and reach them so I can just fast travel there anytime I wanted. And with the power of girl strength, I managed to make it over there. And I looted all the rest of the Brotherhood bodies, and Elder believed me, and he sent me to do more missions. But before that, I decided to go to Nelson to clear out the Legion camp there, because the Legion don't really treat women that well. And since I have an army of women, and I am a woman, I take a great offense to that. So, I decided to clear out the fort and watch my women tear them limb from limb. As it, Legion then tried to kill me with assassins not too long after, but me and my girls were easily able to take care of that. So watch Lily fail to hit a guy for 10 minutes straight. Watch this. She charges after him, right? Misses. Charges after him. Misses. And he's walking so slow behind him. How do you miss 3 times? Eventually she got better and was able to kill him though. After killing the Legion assassins, it was time for me to continue on with the quest line, as I decided to help Camp Forlorn Hope and get them more supplies. After that, I then helped the injured soldiers there by healing them up. I was hoping that this would increase my reputation with the NCR enough to use their monorail I getting shot at, but that didn't really work out. Anyway, after that, I met with the Brotherhood scribes, as they all gave me the information they needed. After that, I went back to the Elder, and the Elder told me to do the final quest and gather all components for an air infiltration system so we can fix up the bunker, because everyone needs air. As then we went to vault collecting items, as I used my speech for Vault 3 to make them think I was a great con, so I can go in and take what they had without even causing any troubles. Remember kids, words, not violence. This will be important later in the video. As I collected each thing, eventually I went back to the Brotherhood, and they were shocked that I actually did it. They expected me to die, actually. Wow, great friends. As then it was time for me to join them. Before I can join them, I had to go to a radio signal and attach a device to it. So, we went up to Black Mountain Radio and had my companions fight some super mutants and some Nightkin. As my companions easily slaughtered my way through, eventually made it to Mistress Tabitha, and sadly I did not have enough science to fix her robot, so we had to kill her. Felt kinda bad, honestly, but my mother always said, no use in crying over dead bodies. As then after that, I met with the Elder, and he taught me how to use power armor. As now it's time to finish Veronica's quest. Now, if you do this glitch, once you finish Veronica's quest, you can't do the glitch anymore. You can only have the amount of companions that you have with you while the glitch is active, so be very careful about doing her quest. Anyway, we had to find Archimedes too, so we went around asking. I mean, I could just skip right on and get it, but I decided to do the quest how you're supposed to, because I never really done that. But to do that, I needed to go to the New Vegas gift shop, so it was time for me to ride the monorail. As I ran in and got onto the train, a few NCR soldiers shot at me, but my companions made easy work of them. As I rode the monorail to New Vegas, I then went back to Helios 1 after learning where it was at, and it was time to do the Lucky Sun quest to get Archimedes 2 active. I want to do an Archimedes 2 only challenge. I've tried that, but the gun just glitched, it wouldn't work. So if you have any way to stop this glitch, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, I just ran past all the security and used my girlfriends as cannon fodder. Ain't I so thoughtful? Made it to the power grid and sent all the power to Archimedes 2, and I can finally get the weapon that I can't use just for this one quest. I gotta make sure to blind you all though with the quest, because if I have to watch that, so do you. After blinding my audience with turning the power on, we went back and showed the elder the weapon, but he was not impressed and wouldn't change anything. As then I talked to Veronica, as I convinced her to stay my companion. Then we were jumped by Brotherhood Knights, as I used speech to convince them to walk away. I had to do it twice for some reason, because the first time I didn't register. I don't know why, but now that Veronica's quest is completed, I can finally start with the main story. As then I went to Boulder City, and I talked the Great Khans into letting the hostages go. And then I talked the NCR to not betraying them, allowing the NCR and Great Khans to finally get along. As then I went to Benny and talked to him. My plan was to use speech for me to meet him alone, and I couldn't sleep with him because, well, I am a lesbian. So my plan was to meet him alone, tell him off, and have my girlfriends murder him. And it worked like a charm, as Benny was murdered by girls. But hey, at least girls got his hands on him before he died. As I watched them beat Benny to death, it was time for me to continue on with my mission and deal with my next loose end, Mr. House. You see, since Mr. House and the Legion require me to kill the Brotherhood, I wasn't gonna do that because I wanted Veronica to be my companion. So, I had to kill Mr. House, as I stabilized the chamber. I meant to do the one where he lives, but I hit the wrong one on accident, and he's shocked to death. And after killing Mr. House, I met with Crocker, because it's been a while since I got the NCR ending, and you can actually get the Brotherhood to side with them, so I decided why not. As then, I decided to do a side mission. I would go to Caesar's fort and refuse to give up my weapons, as I would have my girlfriends fight the way to the top. I wanted to kill Caesar for what he did to women, and I wanted to test how strong my companions really were, and this would be a good test run for the end of the game. I figured if they could kill Caesar and get rid of his guards, they should have no problem battling Lake Atlantis. And I was definitely wrong on that. More on that later. As my companions made it out, I went in and out of the tent for them to heal, and then I just had them destroy the legionaries. As watching my girls beat up on the Legion was quite nice and enjoyable. After killing the Legion, I then threw Caesar's body into fire to have him burned forever, just like he burnt the Burn Man. As then I went off to heal some boomers with my medicine, as I finally decided I would help out the boomers, so I can complete the quest and continue on with the story. As I listened to some nerd talk about some history I didn't really care about, I then asked questions and called him a nerd. After that, I then fixed some solar panels. Also, why does their opinion change after you just listen to some kid talk about their history? As I listened to some nerd talk, fixed some solar panels, saved some guy's life, I then was able to bring back the bomber. As I went to Pearl, and she agreed to help out the NCR and defend the dam. As then I went back to Ambassador Crockett, as it was time to get the kings to stop messing with the NCR. As I used my speech to kiss the king's ass, I was allowed to go in and talk to him, as he gave me a quest. Now my plan was to do the king's quest, and then simply use the king's favor not to harass the NCR anymore. As then I went to Horus, and I agreed to hire him. As I called him out on his bullcrap after hiring him, I went back to the king and told him he was a fraud. After that, I then investigated with another matter. You see, some NCR soldiers have shot down some kings, but it was a big misunderstanding. I was able to investigate and discover that the NCR sent a convoy to meet with the kings, but it never got there. I told the king what was up, and he told me to get rid of this misunderstanding. As then I went to the NCR and was able to talk them down and explain the kings didn't know what was going on. After talking things down, I then went back to the king and used my favor for him to make peace with the NCR. After finishing things up with the kings, I then met with Colonel, who told me to deal with the Great Khans, as I decided to go over and deal with them. But instead of killing them because I like the Great Khans, I decided to help them out and do the quest where they break their alliance with Caesar. As I talked Jack out of joining Caesar's Legion, I then went over and got the Slaver book, which wasn't too hard because all the Legion there were dead. After that, I then was able to talk Carl into dying because I made him talk crap about the Great Khans with my speech, and the Great Khans murdered him.
After that, I told all my girlfriends to sit tight as I was going to enter Deathclaw Valley. I wanted them to fight through the Deathclaws, but I didn't want to risk it, so I decided just to take a stealth boy and to sneak through, because the Great Khans are past Deathclaw Valley. I don't know why they're past Quarry Junction, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. As then I talked to Melissa, and she agreed to not support the Legion. I then went to Papa Khan and told him to get the hell out of here, as him, the Great Khans, would leave Red Rock Canyon. After that, I went to investigate the Gomeritas, and the quest is pretty much the same every single time, so I'll gloss over most of it. As then I met with Kashino, and he told me how bad they were, so then I went over and lied to someone and told him I would report him to the NCR if he didn't do what I said, and blew up the guns. I was hoping that because I sided with the NCR, it wouldn't count as a lie, but it still counts as a lie, sadly. As then I met with Big Saul and had my companions murder him, as watching a giant woman beat a man up is kind of hot. After that, I went to the Elder and told him that the NCR wants him dead, so he agreed to side with the NCR. After that, the Colonel was a B-word and wasn't very happy with letting the Brotherhood live. After that, I met with Ranger Grant and we agreed to save the president. I found an NCR soldier dead, so I would go up and talk to the man who killed him and pretend to fall for his trap, so then he would attack me and my companions would kill him. After that, it was finally time to start the battle for Hoover Dam, as I met with General Lee Oliver and he dragged me into the dark depths of hell. Then my companions fought through some legionaries and made some quick work of them. Really, what this was is just me running throughout the dam and letting my companions deal with the legionaries. To be fair, this entire challenge is me running and letting my companions do the work. As then I used my science to turn off the water flow to stop the legion from coming in. After that, I went down and changed the water pressure, murdering all the legionaries in the pipe who were trying to come in and attack the dam. Then we made it up to some NCR Rangers and I used my speech to convince them to join me in the charge. As me, the NCR Rangers, and my companions all charged in to fight the legionaries. Well, I guess minus me. As we dealt with the legionaries, we then moved into the camp, as I waited for each legionary soldier to move to us and for us to wipe them down. My plan was to use them to wipe out the legate and all of his soldiers because, well, they've proven very strong so far, but you will not believe it. Apparently, waves and waves of legionary soldiers were enough to deal with my companions, because no matter how many stim packs I gave them, they would eventually fall unconscious and I would die. I tried this a few times. Eventually, I tried to hide and hope that my companions would eventually keep standing up, but the Legion always found me and shot at me. And I couldn't talk Legolandus to fight me one-on-one because I had too high speeds in barter and I couldn't fail. So, I decided to talk my way out of it. Kind of failing the challenge, kind of not. But then I remembered something. Ellen was a kind, loving woman, and she would not want me to hurt this man. It's time to show forgiveness and compassion instead of war and violence, as we let Legate Lanius go and start a new path of compassion and love, proving that yes, you can, in fact, beat Fallout New Vegas as a lesbian.
Time to find out, can you beat Skyrim on legendary difficulty by being gay? Now, there's two ways to do this. One, play it normally and just marry a man. Or two, add a mod and fight with an army of boyfriends. And we're going to try both. So this is the mod I use. I tried to use the follower rework mod, but that wouldn't work, so I had to use this one. So shout outs to the mod creators who made this possible. I named myself Twink and tried to make myself look as feminine as possible as a boy because, well, who doesn't like a good femboy, you know what I mean? As then, I was almost executed just to be saved by Alduin at the last second, like normal. Kind of weird how the guy who saves you is the guy you kill at the end. Kind of poetic. Anyway, I then followed the Empire, because the Stormcloaks are racist towards Argonians, so who knows how they feel about gay people. As then, I decided just to run past the tutorial, because you actually don't need to help or fight at all if you just run past everything. So that's exactly what I did. I just ran and ran and ran until I reached the end of the cave, and I left. And these stones aren't really that helpful, but I will pick the Mage Stone, because that way I can heal my boyfriends. So I guess that could come in handy better. You know, having more magic to heal. And then I went through the chest and did the glitch so I can get more money. So then I can hire Marcuse. Because remember, kids, you can always buy love, at least in Skyrim. As then I went to get more money to hire another mercenary. This time, though, I hired Verslog, whatever his name is. Look, the names in Skyrim are dumb. I can't pronounce that. And if you have trouble with that, leave in the comments, and I'll feel free not to read it. As then we got jumped by wolves, and I had to watch my companions fight them, as they did not do too well. But spoiler alert, later on the companions would get really good, but right now they kind of sucked. Which kind of is hard, because I'm going to make them fight the strongest enemies in the game, so I can get another one. You see, there's an Argonian boyfriend who you can marry, and he's the only Argonian male you can marry in the whole game. That's also a companion. There's one other, but he's not a companion. So right now, I have to slowly sit by and have them try to kill these. Used to be snow elves, but now they're cursed into Discord moderators, basically. So I simply watched and waited for them, because my companions can't die. So they would fight, get destroyed, and then stand back up later. And I would simply have to run away and run back in and hope they did the job. And it took a very, 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 very long time of just watching them fight. It was so much fun. Yay! I mean, just look at this. Just look at me just running back and forth like a coward. Yeah, not really the most fun time. But when they had to fight them one-on-one, and when they all had to jump one, they did a lot better than fighting a group of them, which I guess makes sense. Eventually, though, we did slaughter through them all, so I can get to my Argonian boyfriend. Very nice. I then picked the lock, and he agreed to join me, where he follows me out of the cave, and then I can have him as a companion. There is a glitch where he doesn't follow you, so you have to be kind of careful of that, because that did happen often for me. But other than that, it's really not that hard. Once you let him free, it's kind of easy. After getting him as a companion, I now have 3 boyfriends, and I can finally start the challenge.
I then bought Healing Hand so I can heal my boyfriends. It seemed, well, fair at the time. I then went and joined the Legion because, well, I have an Argonian boyfriend, so joining the Stormcloaks would kind of be dumb. I usually do side with the Legion, so my next run, I will side with the Stormcloaks. I don't know what run that will be, but just letting you know, so all you Stormcloak fanboys can stop hating my videos. Anyway, then I had to take down some bandits, and usually this is very hard because it's legendary, but my companions easily tear through these bandits. Apparently, when you're not the strongest enemies in the game, my companions are actually kind of overpowered. So we take down the bandit chief with the power of gayness, clearing the fort for the empires, and I report back to the legate, and she gives me a job and says I'm officially part of the Legion. My job is to meet up with Hagvar and storm an ancient tomb to try to get this ancient crown so Ulfric can't get it and claim himself the High King. So me and the Legion come in and fight some Stormcloaks, while I simply watch my boyfriends do all of the work. I bet they're kind of pissed. Imagine if some guy recruited you and just stands back and makes you fight in a war. Yeah, that you just met. You probably wouldn't be too happy. Anyway, though, the Stormcloaks are definitely a piece of cake, and my Argonian sweetheart easily gets his revenge, and then we fight some Draugr, who are basically just classic undead, as we easily take care of them, and we all jump the final boss. It is kind of easy and dumb to watch all your companions fight for you, but this challenge gets way harder later on, and I'll explain why in the future. But for now, though, it's pretty easy, as then I speak to General Talius, as he tells me that I need to go to Whiterun after giving him the crown. As then, I require brain rot because I must have watched those Italian memes that gives me nightmares at night. After requiring brain rot, I go to Whiterun. The Jarl doesn't take me seriously until we deal with the dragon. So to do that, we need the dragon stone. And to do that, I need to be sent off to a dungeon. So here we go. It's basically an excuse to do the main story for the game, so you can't complete the side quest yet. But it is pretty easy considering that these are just low-level bandits. And we do fight a giant spider. Sorry if you have arachnophobia. If you unsubscribe, I understand. As then we push through and fight the Draugr. And yeah, the undead are kind of a pushover right now. I mean, I do have 3 companions with great gear right now, so I don't know what else to expect. I'm also very low level, so the Draugr's very low level, so that actually kind of helps me out. As then I grab the golden claw off a corpse, and I continue to lead my companions through the army of undead. As yeah, my army just easily tears through them.
So apparently gay people beat undead. Do with this information as you will. Apparently the skeletons were no match for the strongest bone of all, the boner. As then we make it through, and I use the golden claw to open a door. After that, it's time for the final boss. Now this boss usually is a pain in the A on survival legendary difficulty, but since I have 3 overpowered companions, they just easily stomp him and just send him flying across the map, which is very funny to watch. As then I go back to Whiterun, return the stone, and then I am called to meet with the Jarl, and then go off to fight the dragon. And by fight, I mean watch my boyfriends fight for me. Because basically, I am a trophy husband, and I do nothing but look around and stay cute. As with the power of my cuteness, and with them doing the actual work, the dragon is slain. And with the dragon slain, I can finally progress through the Civil War quest line, and tell them that Ulfric wants to attack him. He doesn't believe me for some reason. So then, I have to get him to give me an axe, so I can go over and give it to Ulfric. So Ulfric can agree that he wants to attack the city. So I do that, and Ulfric's like, yeah, we'll attack the city and kill everyone. So then I go back to Whiterun, and we defend against the Stormcloaks. But for whatever reason, my companions couldn't join me during this battle. So I didn't fail the challenge yet, because as long as I just stand by and let the soldiers do the work for me, I guess I didn't really do anything. So this is kind of a gray area. And there's a lot of gray areas in this challenge, because Skyrim is not like Fallout, where you can bring companions almost anywhere. Well, there are exceptions to that, but you get the gist of things. As then, I simply just stand up and just look around all the time, and let the battle play out, where I simply heal myself. And I go to General Talius, and he calls me a hero and promotes me, even though I did literally nothing but cheerlead. As then I go and meet with the Legate. She wants me to kill a courier and sabotage the messages, so that's exactly what I do. I tried to run away and let my companions do the work, but the Stormcloak was smart and killed me. Luckily though, I'm the main character and I could just restart, and my companions easily deal with the Stormcloak the second time. After that, I then go to the Legate, where she sabotages all the notes, and then I deliver the notes to the Stormcloaks, and the notes are now sabotaged, so they'll get the wrong information when they go into battle. After that, it's time to take down a fort. And by take down a fort, I guess I don't have to describe. I ran away and let my companions do all the work, because I'm basically doing that the whole video, so you're probably getting tired of me just saying that. But hey, look, I have healing hands now, so now I can actually do something. I can actually heal them, which is just like a tiny little bit. It's basically like them getting their arm chopped off, and then I give them a band-aid. It helps a little bit, but at that point, it doesn't really matter. As then I meet with General Talius, and he tells me to go blackmail the Jarl of Whiterun. So I steal some incriminating evidence and go to the Jarl and bring it to her. And she agrees to give up secret information, like a bunch of gold that the Stormcloaks were about to deliver, along with a bunch of weapons. So I report this to the Legate, and then I meet up with my boy Hagvar, and we plan to jump them. As then I watch as my gang jumps them, but this time they are not being initiated, but they're being initiated into the afterlife instead. Which I guess you might be able to call a gang. After all, we don't know what the afterlife's like. After that, I then meet up with the Legate, who is way too close to my face right now, way too close and personal, as she gives me orders. Her orders were simple: take a fort. But I simply lay back with my companions as they, like I've said a million times, do all the work for me. But we do send some people flying, which is always funny. I don't know if I'm just simple-minded, but anytime someone goes flying across the map, I simply laugh. Like, I laugh my ass off. I don't know if that's me, or if any of you guys find that funny. If so, let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, the Imperial Legion does a great job of wiping the Stormcloaks off the face of the earth, and so do my companions, as we start to do multiple fort missions. And to be honest, they're really not that hard, and they're all kind of the same. The only main difference is some of them have you free hostages and some of them don't. That's really about it. Yeah, this mission kind of turned stale. The Civil War questline kind of turned stale after a while. I hope in the new Elder Scrolls game, if they have a questline like this, they won't like have you just take fort after fort after fort. Anyway, I then was able to free the prisoners, because once I actually cleared out the place before freeing them, which you're supposed to do the opposite to have more soldiers, but I already have companions, so it doesn't matter. As then finally, we're ready to storm Soul Sign, the capital of the Stormcloaks. But sadly, you can't skip past the dialogue like I tried to. You have to listen to General Talius give a speech, and my companions were not allowed here. You might think I'm in trouble, but I technically do not need them, cause I could just simply run to the very end like I've done many times before. After running to the very end, I then talk to Ulfric until his guy tries to kill me, and I play Ring Around the Rosie with him. As then I simply stand back and let General Talius and the Legate fight for me. You don't really need to fight because General Talius and the Legate cannot die here. Anytime they go down, they'll simply stand back up. So all you have to do is let them do all the work, like that, and you basically done it. As then I refuse to kill him for obvious reason, and General Talius kills him himself. As now the Empire's won, I then decide to teabag Ulfric in the name of all the Argonians. Hashtag Argonian Lives Matter. As then, I go up to Higher Hrothgar to meet with the Greybeards, a bunch of old men who will teach me things, as they are the masters of shouts, which is kind of fitting considering a bunch of angry old men live in the clouds and just yell all day at the clouds. Very fitting. As they teach me the shout that pushes people away, and they also teach me a shout called Whirlwind Spirit, as it lets me just dash around everywhere. After that, I then go off with my companions to get what they told me to get, which is the Horn of Windcaller. And even though I've done this game like a million times, I can never, ever remember what the quest actually wants you to fetch, even when they tell me. Is that just me, or is this quest like really forgettable? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Anyway, the Draugr here have a bit more armor, but my companions easily just shred through them, because my boyfriends are far stronger than any skeleton can dream of. As they easily push through them all, I then try to go through these doors, but I get stuck and die from weak skeletons. Kind of embarrassing. But I then get stuck again and again and again and again because I hate this puzzle. It's super easy, but it's also really time consuming, and my luck sucks, and it always takes me like 50 tries to get through it. And then I learned the Windcaller was stolen by Dolphine, and she's secretly a part of the Blades, a secret organization that now hides in the shadows after they lost to the Thalmor, and she's the last one, and she wants me to prove that I'm the Dragonborn so that we can slaughter some dragons together, and the best way to do that is to kill a dragon. So yeah, this fight usually is a pain in the butt, but it's actually really easy now because my companions do most of the work, like every other fight. I do heal them here and there, but other than that, I'm completely useless like normal. I am basically the team's cheerleader. Go team! And usually he always focuses on me, but apparently when you have 4 other people fighting him, because Dolphine's fighting him too, it gets really easy. As then, Alduin was dead, and I managed to get his soul. Nice. After that, Dolphine believes me because I ate a dragon soul, like it's crack, and then she sent me on my way. But I cannot go into the Thalmor embassy because my companions aren't allowed, so I have an idea. There's a way to skip past it with buckets, and if you do this, the game will act like you did all the other quests if you just did this right away. So speedrunners always do this to skip half the quest in the game. You use a bucket and run up to this wall and you glitch through it. Why does it work? I have no idea. As then I have to lockpick a door to get the journal because I can't fight any Thalmor and they're not really hostile to me since I glitched in. One was, but the rest aren't. It takes me multiple attempts because I suck at lockpicking, and this lockpick is expert, and I have the worst luck ever. Every time I get it, every time I think I have it, it breaks, and it just pisses me off. God, I wish I had the skeleton key, as it takes me multiple tries, but eventually I finally make my way in. And now all I have to do is read the journal and discover that Esben is still alive, and the Thalmor don't even attack me. So that's nice. After that, I leave through the trap door to find all my boyfriends down there, because apparently the cave is outside the embassy so they could spawn in. But all my companions then beat up on Bigfoot. And I know he's not Bigfoot, he's a troll or whatever you say, but he looks just like the Yeti from those TikTok AI videos. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're really good and they're better than my channel, so I can be replaced by AI in any second. Kind of scary, but let's not think about that. After that, I meet up with Dolphine, and then I agree to go find Esben, who's been hiding in the rat ways like a little rat he is. As then, my team jumps on a wizard, and look how long this takes. For whatever reason, this wizard is beefier than most companions in the game. Like, he takes a long time to go down. Like, with all 4 guys just wailing on him, he lasts for like 3 minutes, which may not sound like much, but with 3 companions wailing on you on Legendary, that's a big deal. As then I meet up with Esben, and he agrees to leave with me, so I take him to Dolphine so we can discover how to beat Alduin. As I talk to him, eventually we both leave, and then I meet up with Dolphine and Esben. As I then carry on to fight the Forsworn. By fight, I mean, okay, I've said that too many times, you know what I mean. As then, I go through the temple, cut myself to reveal the prophecy, and it's revealed that the Greybeards know how to stop Alduin, which means I could have just asked them and didn't have to do anything with the blades whatsoever. Yeah, hindsight's kind of weird if you think about that, but we won't think about it. As then, I let the Greybeards yell at me to finish the Horn quest, as then, I meet up with them and talk about meeting Parthenax. Parthenax is this dragon who was Alduin's brother that switched sides. And I Parthen the clouds to meet Parthenax. You see what I did there? No? You're gonna unsubscribe because that was bad? Okay, I guess that's fair. As then I talk to Parthenax, as he agrees to help me, as he tells me where to find the Elder Scroll. But he doesn't really know, so then he tells me to talk to the Greybeards. I go to Parthenax, he tells me to talk to the Greybeards. The Greybeards don't know, so they tell me to talk to the college. Jeez, the more I think about it, the more annoying this quest is. I mean, when you're playing Skyrim, it doesn't really feel annoying, but me saying it just sounds annoying. Is that just me, or does anyone else feel the same? Anyway, I then learned where the Elder Scrolls are. Just kidding, I had to talk to another person to learn. And I finally learned where the Elder Scroll is. The Elder Scroll is beneath a dwarven ruin, so me and my companions had to go through there and destroy everything in our path to get it. So yeah, I had to talk to a total of 4 people. 4 to tell me where something is. Come on, Bethesda. I mean, I love Skyrim, but looking back on it, that is kind of dumb. As then me and my companions go through, as they had to destroy steampunk robots that look like they're made from Total War Warhammer. They look like a different franchise, honestly. As then, I use my shouts to go through a dungeon. Now, with 3 companions, I thought we were ready for this, that nothing can stop us. But these guys mean business. The Discord moderators are too damn strong. Apparently, a gay person's weakness is a strength of a Discord moderator. Because they just obliterated me and obliterated my entire team. And no matter what I did, I just couldn't go through. So eventually, I had to use the Become Eternal shout just to run past everything. Because if I didn't, I would just die. I don't know why they're so tough on Legendary. They're weak, they live in a cave, they're skinny, have barely any bones, but apparently they're the strongest enemy in the game. I don't know why. But eventually I get the Elder Scroll, and then I leave. After leaving with the Elder Scroll, I then set up a campfire, because it gets cold on the top of the mountain. As then me and my companions look back into the past,
And I learn how Alduin was defeated, as he was defeated with the Dragon Wren shout, so that's the exact shout that I need to use to defeat Alduin. As then I sit back and let my companions do the work, as I simply spam the Dragon Wren shout, and this is the easiest Alduin fight I've ever been in. Because, well, all I have to look out for is the fallen meteors, which to be honest are a pain in the butt, and I wish he couldn't do that in the game. Whoever designed that in the game, shame on you, hope you don't design an Elder Scrolls 6. But yeah, I simply use the Dragon Wren shout over and over and over again on Alduin, as my companions just beat him to death. So, even the power of a dragon cannot defeat the power of love, but Discord moderator trolls can, though. I didn't design the game, folks. Don't judge me. Anyway, I do die once just because I'm stupid and run out, but other than that, we easily take care of Alduin. After taking care of Alduin, it's time. Alduin runs away, so it's time for me to capture a dragon. As Whiterun was made for that, I am able to convince the Jarl to lead a dragon to a city so we can capture it. After that, I then go back to the blades, as then they teach me the shout and tell me to kill Parthenax. But I don't want to do that, not because I like Parthenax, but because, well, I don't really care to. I just kind of want to finish this video at this point, honestly. As then I capture a dragon, and he brings me to Higher Wrathgar. And I did not know this, but, you can't bring companions to Higher Wrathgar. And this is where it gets difficult, because I'm only level 7, because I let all my companions do all the work for me. Which means I do barely, if any, damage to anything. So I basically have to run away. And I can't really attack them either, even if I wanted to, because of the sake of the challenge. As I'm forced to run past the fortress, but then I hit a road bump. You have to kill this Draugr to get the key, to get the diamond key. And guess what? The only way to get that is to kill him. And I can't bring companions. So I try and try and try, but nothing works. So I basically failed because I have to kill him. But I don't want the video to end here. So even though I failed, I decided to keep going, as I tried to use my shout to push him down a well to kill him. Well, not a well, just a stairway. As I try to push him down, he gets back up, and it takes a long time. I even push him down once, but it's not enough to kill him, because he lands on the stairs. Eventually, though, I push him down the stairs, and he dies. Someone call Life Alert, or would it be Undead Alert, since he's, well, dead? I honestly don't know. But yeah, it did take a lot of tries. But eventually, after killing him, I then got the Diamond Claw, and I was able to get away. Hopefully, I can just pretend like this never happened. But then I ran into another problem that I didn't even think about. You see, to prove that you're worthy, you have to fight this guy. And I can't really fight him without companions, so I failed the challenge again. Yeah, kind of sad that it happened right near the end of the game. But, oh well, what can you do? I tried to just push him off the edge, but that doesn't really work out that well. I do keep spamming the shout. It pushes him back a tiny bit, so I was hoping he can fall on rocks and I can get him stuck. Or I can just push him off by getting him too close, something, anything. Eventually, though, he gets stuck by his own AI, because the AI's biggest enemy is itself. And then I pull out a bow and arrow, because I already failed the challenge anyway, so it doesn't really matter. As then I start shooting him with bows and arrows to try to stop him, as he just looks at me and he eventually just walks off the edge. I guess he was tired of me torturing him, which I guess is fair. As then, after torturing someone, I then use my shouts to clear the sky with my fellow Dragonborns, as then we fight Alduin. As I just spam. I could fight him since I already lost the challenge, but I decided to wait near the very end, because you have to kill Alduin with your own bare hands. So, even if companions were allowed here, it was rigged from the start, and I was never going to be able to finish the challenge. So Alduin's defeated. And you can beat it by being gay, just by marrying someone, but you can't beat it with an army of boyfriends, because I guess that's dumb. But I want to end on a happy note, so even though I failed the challenge, I decided to buy a house. After buying a house in Whiterun, I then pay for a children's bedroom and adopt a child. After that, I take all my boyfriends out to a temple and marry them all. And that's going to leave it all for this video. Even though I failed the challenge, I still had a lot of fun. Happy Pride Month, and I hope you all have a good day. Gay, straight, bi, no matter what you are, I love you, and I'm so glad you're to this channel. If you have any ideas, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting me. Check out my other videos. Peace out. You're the best.